In this video, I'm going to talk about how to add text and change the font and make it 3D, change the color, all the different things you might want to do with text in Blender. And this is just the basics of getting the text to look how you want. There are other things you might want to do, like animate the text, make it move around, or you might want to get it prepared for a 3D print. I'm not going to talk about those specifics in this video. This is just how to make it, how to work with it, how to make it look like what you want. I'm going to go ahead and delete this cube here. And I'm going to add text. You have to be in object mode to add text. You can add it using Add or Shift A through that menu, and there's text right there. Or you can go over here to Create, and if you scroll down under Other, the first option is Text. Any of those will work. So it adds the text flat on the grid. Sometimes that's what you want, sometimes it's not. You can rotate this just like any other object, although this is not actually a mesh object. A lot of times I like to come over here and just type in 90 for the X, and that rotates it so it's kind of standing up instead of laying down. I'll Control Z that. You can also rotate the text. So for example, if I wanted it to stand up, I would rotate it around this red axis, which is X. So I'm going to do R, X, and then type in 90. And I hit enter, and now it's standing up again. You can rotate it around any axis just like any other object. Okay, so now I have my text, and I want it to not say text. I'm going to go into edit mode instead of object mode. So I'm going to just hit tab. And now you can't use your mouse to navigate in this text, so I can't, click with my mouse to try and move this cursor, this white cursor. Instead, I have to use the arrow buttons to navigate, or backspace and typing just works like normal. So I'm just going to say okay. And with text, you can change the font. If you have your text selected in object mode, or if you're in edit mode editing the text, there is an F option in your properties pane. And if you click that, there are a few things that you can play around with here. I'm just going to go over some of the simple ones. The main one that most people are interested in is changing the font. So I always use this first one, go into the folder. On a Windows computer, you're going to go into the Windows or C drive, and then down at the bottom there's Windows. And then you're looking for your fonts folder. And there's a lot of fonts on our computers. So one thing that I like to use to try and figure out what font I even want to use is to go to wordmark.it. And this is kind of a nice website that lets you load the fonts that you actually have access to on your computer, and you can type in whatever text you are wanting to look at, and then you can actually see a preview of that here. So let's say I like Atlantic Cruise. So I'm going to go back into Blender, and I'm going to find Atlantic Cruise. And now my font has changed into that font. I am also going to extrude it, and by extruding it, it makes it 3D. So I'm just clicking and dragging. I could also click and type. One is really big, so you want to, depending on how you've scaled your text, you might want to keep it in the decimal range. Oops. Let's do 0.1. Okay, so now I have 3D text. I can color this text just like normal. I'm going to add under my materials pane, I'm going to add a new color. There's my text. If you don't like the font that's on the fonts that are on your computer under wordmark.it, you can also go to, I like dafont, dafont.com, and there are approximately 1 bajillion different fonts that you can choose from. You would just download it. Let's say I want capture it. So I'm going to download this. I'm just going to download it into my downloads folder. There it is. Okay, you guys were probably saying it's right there. Okay, so I'm going to open the zip folder. You look for the file that has usually TTF as the extension, sometimes OTF, or there might be a couple other ones. Double click on that. It opens the install window. When you go to install it, it's going on a school computer. It's going to ask you for an administrator password, so you'll need to let me know, and I will come put that in for you so you have that font that you want. Once you have installed it, if you had Blender open to that folder, if it was already open to this folder, you're probably going to need to just cancel and get back into the folder to have it refresh. Okay, I think that's it for fonts. And then, like I said, you might want to do something with those, and that'll be in other videos that are specific to what you might want to do with it.